Said your hand can't stand you find you put your faith in Christ, and they am defined it. Go ahead and rewind it. Play it for the people that's blinded, play it for that truck till now with excitement. Make God in his soul, give us life and alignment, change and transform every gift that he writes with. Yeah, that's what Christ is doing, yeah. Everything nice and truly up. See, maneuver sound that best song. Now we tryna lower that depth tone. Let's go. Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, crazy, Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, crazy, also Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, also Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, Christ, crazy, also Christ, crazy. Let me see you two step. See, tripping on you, boy, you see. This ain't how I normally be, but I can't help this jealousy. Who's taking care of me? Come in, come in. Hello, hello. I'm gonna get started. Now tonight, I'm gonna start introducing myself totally different than I normally do. Tonight is a real touchy topic for many. It was touchy for me. I found out so much information tonight, and I always tell you all, God always have His timing for everything. So never think that when you find something out after the fact that it wasn't on time. Heavenly Father is always on time when it's time to get or receive any information. Um, a lot of people are very sensitive to the truth. If the truth makes you uncomfortable, that means you have to do some work on yourself, because truth should not make you uncomfortable. Truth actually sets your soul free, give you that relief, give you that great vision, give you a great experience in life. And a lot of people think, that when chosen ones, we are very raw with the truth, because we won't have it no other way, because so long in our lifetimes, and everybody lifetime, I don't just say a particular crowd or a particular group, every human being that walked through this earth and every human being left this earth, they had some type of trauma that happened to them in childhood. We all got a family tree. We all are put in families. We all have people that we're blood related to, but not everybody in our family were honest. Not everybody in our family were wholesome, was very pure. No, they were not. We can't sit here and lie on a we can't sit here and lie about the truth. The truth got to be spoken, and for so long the truth has been buried, so people just been running through the earth rampantly. Traditions of men. You hear a lot of older folks say, this new generation, they out of control. No, generations been out of control. It's just now Satan is taking more, because the wicked has waxed gross. So Wickedness have grown rapidly because for so many generations, go back to our grandfathers, our great grandfathers, our great grandmothers, our mother's family, our father's family, if you know them, the tree is very damaged. The tree has been damaged for decades, centuries, and we and our family members wasn't strong enough to break these generational curses. They was too weak due to lack of support, lack of empathy, lack of compassion, lack of communication. That's why when you run into somebody, what they call them narcs, but they unhealed souls, their lack of communication, because those demonic spirits have grown and manifested over time. So Satan is actually using people housing, which is your flesh, your meat suit, your face, your figure, your size, your shape, and he is using souls to get his mission done. So a lot of people can't see spiritually, and you only can see spiritually is when God give you the Holy Spirit to see the world for what the world is actually going through. At first I could see, but I wasn't certain about seeing because I didn't understand the spiritual realm. But now that I'm awakened and I have the Holy Spirit activated in me, I can see spiritually. So I see the truth. And a lot of people, they feel like they're leaders and they can lead people into getting money or lead you into a job or lead you into something to make you feel comfortable being in wickedness. And for a long time, people been using materialistic things to become superior, money to become superior, using large vocabulary words to be superior, but that was only a mask or masses to hide the pain that that person was actually enduring. And that's when substance, pharmaceuticals, drugs, alcohol, fornication, adultery, molestation, rape, master manipulators, all of that stuff comes along with brokenness. So we cannot get around it. It ain't no more. It's no need no more to try to get around or trying to hide, because God had woken up his children to come into this world to help this world. And tonight, I'm shocked that I'm up here speaking to y'all, but I have to speak regardless if I want to or not. It's just my mission. This is my purpose and this is my calling. And God chose me before I even hit my mother's womb. We are spiritual beings. We're not physical beings. We're just living a physical experience. This flesh, this meat suit, these arms, these fingers, these hands, these toes, whatever have you. This is only to house our spirit, our soul. This is what's important. But beings though your mother, your father, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your in-laws, whoever you was left on, whoever raised you, foster care and all that, don't worry about that stuff, because it was designed for a reason. It rains on the just as well as the unjust. We all have to deal with Satan, but not many can defeat Satan because you don't have the tools. You don't know how. You wasn't taught how. So Satan got a lot of souls cemented in wickedness, and he using a lot of souls, and a lot of souls have died not knowing the truth. Many souls have died in trauma bonds. Many souls have died in controlling situations. Many souls have died without even really living a great life because Satan was so strong on them. And they didn't know who to turn to. They didn't know who to believe. They didn't know who to trust. Nobody believed them. And the ones that don't believe are the ones with so many skeletons in their closet. It hits our children. It hits our grandchildren. It hits our children. The curse got to be broken. So now that hello, come on in, shalom. Come on in. I got to get this message out. But everybody that come in, how y'all doing? Love you all. I appreciate y'all showing up. But since you came in, hello family. I ain't got my glasses on, and y'all names are, I'm not good with names. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. And I always say baby, sweetheart, sunshine, because names is tough. I'm gonna spell it out. Afelia. How you doing, Sunshine? I'm not good with names, but I got to get this message out. This message is very important, and it's to help people, not to break people down. When I speak, God is truth. So if you don't like truth, you're rejecting God's truth. So that lets me know that you're on the spectrum with Satan. You're still holding on to some bitterness or some brokenness or things that happened to you in your life. That's the only reason why people reject the truth and don't like to hear the raw truth, is because you're hiding something in your heart. You're holding on to wickedness that happened to you in your childhood or in your adulthood, or you got hooked up with some peers and you got on some drugs, or you got in some on some alcohol, you got in a job where people showed you how to party and they done drugged you and they done did things to you. It's a lot of things in this world can break a person down and allow Satan to come in and use them. Now, my content is good and it's about truth, and it may be sensitive to many people, but that's not what I want. If I'm triggering you, that's what I need to happen, because we got to heal. If you're still left on this earth and you didn't get taken through that famine that God brought, what y'all call it, COVID-19, whatever, whatever, God is rearranging things. Wicked been singing and dancing and manipulating and triggering and tearing down people for a long time. We are rised up now, the chosen one, the true chosen ones, not your infiltrators, not the church. That's why all these mega churches is coming down, because they wasn't in it for God. They were in it for the money. They were in it for abuse in all different types of ways. So we got to understand this mission. And now I understand this mission. My mission is completed in my hometown, and God made it possible tonight. Now I'm gonna talk about some things. If you're sensitive to my content, I suggest you go get a cup of water. I suggest you let your knees shake. I suggest you go on through your panic attacks, your anxieties, because I cut straight to the cord. The Heavenly Father word is sharper than any two-edged sword. I had to get the truth just as well as I'm giving the truth. I had to come to reality. I had to come to the spiritual reality. So I'm trying to help many as can that want to help. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you understand. I do got great wisdom. My discernment is very sharp. I got the Solomon wisdom, so I can discern very, 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 very heavy. So I'm not easy to be fooled, and I'm not gonna fall for anything. So I want to talk about the family wicked tree of life. We all were assigned to a family. Like me, I was assigned to the Andersons, the Sheffields, um, whoever their family was, and I'm gonna do another ancestor.com so I can go through the whole family tree, because I lost my daughter due to a drug addiction, and I didn't understand how she was addicted to drugs when I never taught her drugs. I never introduced them to the streets. I try to protect them much as possible, but that was not what was planned it for God. God had to take me through these portals of pain so I could understand the mission that Satan brings on humanity. So tonight, God gave me a lot of downloads today, which I wrote so much. I write a lot, but I'm not going to be able to read them all. But I wrote down the wicked tree, the wicked family tree of life. We were all taught something wicked. If we were taught to belittle somebody, if we were taught to go out and pick on somebody because they're not fortunate than you are, that is a wickedness. That's wicked. If you were taught to commit adultery, if you were taught to commit fornication, if you were taught to covet, go and take somebody else's stuff and claim it as your own, if you were taught to project, gaslight, cheat on people, and what I mean by cheat on people, try to manipulate their mind that they're the ones that is disgusting and shameful and pitiful, and you gonna make yourself feel like you wholehearted, you're pure hearted, and you ain't never sinned in your life, you're walking upright, you're righteous, and all that other stuff. How you doing, Monique? Nice to see you, Sunshine. And that's where Satan can come in your life and use your shell and go out here and destroy other people. See, I always talk about words. Words are very important. People are so vulnerable in this world due to spiritual trauma, not flesh and blood trauma, but spiritual trauma. So I actually wrote up a list today. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm trying to put in the light. It's the wicked family tree. You got your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, your great grandmother, your great grandfather. If you live to see all these people, auntie, uncle, cousins, then you got in-laws coming in, people that's coming in and out your family, or you going in and out people family. Everything is vice versa. Then you got where the family got a hush on the trauma. Just say if your uncles been molesting you, they real close to mama, which is their sister, so they want to babysit. Okay, yes, I was trying to get out what I want to talk about, because this tonight the information that God done here to set my mind free. I was always on point with what I'm going to talk about tonight. But yeah, y'all will miss me some days. I'm not, always looking for y'all to come up, because I know y'all got a life too. But I try to come on lunchtime and just give a little recap instead of sitting on the camera and just doing this or that. But let me get back to what I'm saying, because this is a very important message tonight. Um, your uncles getting close to the mother so they can come in, and yeah, y'all all got lives too. I'm not always looking for y'all to just show up. I do appreciate if y'all do show up. I really do. I really am a very appreciating type of female. So if y'all do show up, listen, I'll give y'all a round of applause for me. Listen, support me and I'll support you. But if y'all can't show up, I understand. Y'all got a life too. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you ain't show up on my live. Nah, we ain't doing that right there. Y'all got life too. And I hope your life is full with abundance. But let me get back to the message. It's a very important message, and my mind is set free, because something bugged my mind for years as a child to my adulthood, almost 50. Well, I call myself 50, but I'm actually getting ready to turn 50. But I always just say 50. I always put an age up a little bit. But I just now found out the truth that I've been asking. I knew it was real, but I just couldn't put my finger on it, because I always look for evidence. But tonight I got everything that I've been asking and waiting for, and my instinct, my spiritual instinct, was totally right. God was right there. He knew. But anyways, let's get it on. And you got your uncles, your aunties, your cousin, all them. And when people get close, and I'm talking about family members right now, I'm not talking about other people outside world, because it's a lot of stuff out there is crazy. When family members are close to each other, now just say if your uncle come in and get close to your sister, his sister, which is your mother, and he know how to brainwash his sister, because a lot of family members are brainwashed by each other, because they can't see past the veil, they can't see past the skin. So being as though growing up as child, many of us was lack of a lot of things, or one parent have a favorite child, and that favorite child can manipulate the parent to hate this sibling, or whatever have you. Now just say we're using brother and sister here. Just say for me, my mother and her brother, which the uncle that passed away, he took care of us while my mother was running the streets. Just say if that uncle was a dirty, wicked uncle, like two uncles I had was dirty and nasty and wicked, and they already know I don't play with them, period. But just I'm using him because they both had the same mother and the same father. So they grew up together in the household. And just say if my uncle that my mother and brother was brother and sister with, he was kind of his sister, which he probably bullied his sister. He probably got over on his sister, or they probably fought all the time in the family, growing up together. Some family members that get close to other family members just to get close to their children, just to destroy their children sexually, verbally, physically. And a lot of these uncles get close to their sisters just so they can have their way with their children. So you got to be very careful when people come in your life and try to get close to you. If they ain't never been close to you, but now all of a sudden, I'm going to babysit your kids, just bring them over here. You know, sometimes we get in situations where the finances can't take care of daycare bill, or we're not patient enough to sit down and just figure out something, or trust God, you know, enough to be like, listen, this situation is brewing. I don't have enough daycare. And then here come old Satan through a family member soul and be like, listen, I'll take care of the kids for you. You know, yeah, you have to have discernment. And you know, we all didn't have it, which I guarded my kids. I did not play with my kids. I didn't care if I had to lose my job. It wasn't no family member gonna babysit my kids. I didn't trust it due to my childhood. I already know how nasty and trifling and dirty family members can be. So just say, don't get them in. Mama be like, my brother loved me so dearly. He babysitting my kids with me until I can get right financially. But it's not that he want to babysit those kids. It's because he want to torture them. He want that demon inside of him probably hated his sister from childhood because sister did something to get him in trouble all the time. Or sister was the favorite sibling in the family. So, you know, that's holding hate. You get what I'm saying? That's hate held in the heart. Satan can use that kind of stuff. Any little thing that can make you bitter, Satan can use you, and that stuff can manifest over in time. And so to get back at sis, I'm gonna get your kids. So Satan works in those type of ways. So now sis thinking that, okay, me and brother on, you know, we done chopped up what happened in our childhood. Because one thing about people that have wicked hearts, they hold grudges, and holding a grudge giving Satan all the opportunity to use your flesh. So you over here thinking, sis thinking that bro is about that life, loving her, forgiving her, da 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 da, and he's actually tormenting her kids. He's actually sending her kids out if they help them selling drugs, using them to sell drugs, recruiting them any kind of way. The women of the sister children, the female children, 9 times out of 10 will get sexually abused, physically abused, being lied on. They get all kind, and when you're children, you're afraid to speak up. You're afraid to be honest because mama ain't gonna believe you, because mama just so focused on getting this job, paying these bills, and putting food on the table, and God knows what else. So she got a free, you know, her hands is free. So I don't want to hear that. Go over there to your brother. When you see your child crying and your child don't want to go into a certain house, don't ignore that cry. You pay attention to your child. Money gonna come. Food gonna come. God tell us, I'm gonna feed you. You ain't got to wake up worrying about where your next meal coming. You ain't got to worry about what you gonna put on. He feed the very birds in the air. So, you know, being as though we wasn't spiritually strong, or our family members wasn't spiritually strong, they only taught us sin, the wicked tree of life. Many of us, all of us, everybody that walked this earth have some type of wicked family member in their circle. They can say, oh no, this ain't gonna happen. Oh no, this ain't happened to me. You know why a lot of people hide? Because for so long they had to suppress their expressions because their oppressors was right there in the home. So when mother gone and your children crying, I don't want to go over there to I don't want to go over there to house. You're going. I gotta go to work. Stop being a sissy. Stop being a baby. But the mother is not actually seeing that her brother, her sibling, is actually tormenting her kids. But she's only focused about making money, worrying about a light bill getting paid, worrying about her rent getting paid, worrying about her car payment or her man or whatever have you. And see, when children are young, they're innocent. They're pure. So when they get abused by somebody bigger than them or stronger than them, that's going to automatically put them into fear. That's going to automatically shut them down. And then they got a mother or a grandmother or anybody else that just, it ain't nothing wrong with you. Your uncle love you. But that's because mama Mama haven't been loved. Mama mind been shut down. Mama been bullied. Mama been intimidated. And you know, okay, I'm sorry, but welcome to the channel, Sunshine. Welcome to the channel. Come on in. But I got to get this message out. I will shout you out if I got to shout you out 12 o'clock p.m. In tomorrow if I live to see it. But thank you for being new to the channel. And I just want to put it like this. I'm open, I'm raw, and I don't hold back no words. I just, try to keep them, a little appropriate. But I'm very raw over here. So if you're not used to rawness, this ain't the channel for you. But anyways, when they grow up, you get afraid. Hi, Miss Candace. How you doing, sunshine? When you grow up and then you go out into this world and you suppress those emotions, those that abuse, because Unc done got you. Grandpa done got you. Grandmom done got you. Mama don't care. Papa don't care. Everybody worrying about a credit score. Sorry, everybody worrying about a house. Everybody worrying about a light bill. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Then, well, you welcome to the channel, baby. We got another strong one in the building. Give them. Is you a girl? I mean, is you a woman or you a man? I need to know before I say he or she. But that's how a lot of the souls around here is up on drugs, have drug abuse. That's why a lot of people are stuck on these forms. A woman, well, welcome to the channel, sis. Welcome, get acquainted. My sisters in the channel, they'll love you to pieces. Monique up in here, Miss Candace up in here, and the other ones coming. So just get acquainted. And Monique, that's my road dog right there. She'll love you to pieces. But they end up on pharmaceuticals. Parents normally say they're crazy, they're schizophrenic, they're bipolar just to get money. If they're not, they don't trust God. They don't have the faith to trust God that He'll do it. People actually use their kids as pawns to get what they want, and they're destroying their kids. Well, I've been asking questions about my mother before she passed away, which my mother passed away yesterday. Well, probably Monday night, but they found the body on Tuesday because they was not over there taking care of her. But that's what she ordered. She didn't want me near. But now I see why she didn't want me near, because I was a question and I asked my whole family. But now I understand everything. Now my mission here is completed. While I was on the phone tonight, God sent this person. And I've been asking about my mother passed, and I've been asking, yes, yeah, thank you very much. I've been asking about my mother passed, and I've been asking about my father's passed, because my my mother wouldn't tell me her background, and I didn't know my father at all. So when my daughter passed away in December, I had questions. I wanted to know why my daughter was on these die-hard drugs when I never introduced her to them. And I was always wondering why my mother was trying to stick to my daughter a whole bunch and give her, advice to go out here and sleep with older men for money, and I'm like, why would you tell her to do that if you are a righteous grandmother? I said, but you didn't raise us, but why would you try to destroy my children? Why would you give my children that type of advice? She hated that when I asked those type of questions. And she used to always say, well, you think you smart. I say, I'm not smart. I'm smart enough to see you for who you are. Why would you give my daughter that type of advice? But I noticed she liked it worldly women. And what I mean by worldly women, women that go and wreck homes, or men that go wreck homes, or men that drink, or men that do drugs, or men that sell drugs. She even, cheered my brother on to drop out of college and to go out in the streets and sell drugs. And she was very happy about that. And I never, I will always say, why are you happy when he do wrong? Why you're never happy when he do right? But she never supported us in anything. She left us for dead. And I had big questions about that. I said, I never had a grandmother. I never, and see, I can imagine being dealing with a demon mother, which the demonic spirits took over my mother. My mother was no longer able. Satan was able in her flesh. And dealing with a toxic woman is a tough situation, because she was 68 years old when she passed away. And as she grew, all that time, them demons manifest, grow rapidly and stronger and stronger and stronger, where she became a witch. And when men go through that, they become warlocks and they go out and they destroy other people. And that's where this narc situation come in. There are demons. These people are demons. You cannot look at these people like that's my mother, that's my father, that's granny over there, that's grandpa over there, that's unc over there, that's auntie over there. No, those people that sow you or sow and try to teach you to be wicked, those people are full-blown demons. Therapy can't help a demon. Jesus can. Jesus is the only one that can defeat a demon. Therapy cannot defeat a demon. Therapy is only a title behind that person. That person only got a title because this physical world go by paperwork. They don't worry about the spiritual work because they don't have what it takes to defeat a demon. So they go by behaviors. So people always ask me, how can you see people for who they are? Because I was ordained by God. I was chosen by God. I didn't choose God. God chose me. And he chose me for this very hour to help people understand the mission that they own. It took me 5 years to get this together and understand my spiritual walk because God had to knock me down and build me back up. I wasn't no peaches and cream type of female, but it was just certain portals I did not go down. Not even down. I didn't do the drug. I smoked weed and I did the liquid drug, which was alcohol. Alcohol is a horrible drug. That drug will make you do any old thing. Yes, 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 yes. They're workers of iniquity. And that's why when we get out into the world, well, I was already in the world when I was young. My mother took care of us, but when she died, I was about 4 to 5 years old, and she took care of my sister. My mom would leave us with her. And my grandmother, I don't know much about her, but I just knew she was there for us at a young age. But when my grandmother died, it was over for us. And I always would wonder why my mom would talk about my grandmother would bring us up there to the clubs and put us in her arms because she was running the streets. But then to come to find out, my grandmother was a street runner. My grandfather was a street runner. But the information I got tonight about my mother, God showed me all of this in dreams. And I now understand why my family hated me so bad because they want to understand how I dodged the bullet and I didn't get traumatized. I didn't get drug ties. I didn't go through, these addictions and became like them in trouble, criminals, got criminal background check, I never lost this, I never lost that. I was a go-getter, I was a hard worker, and they was trying to, put me in the back burner like I didn't exist because they knew I did exist. But they tried to give me a hard time because they knew I seen them for who they are. And I was calling them out. Narcs don't like to be called out. I'm just saying narcs, but they're demons. But they don't like to be called out. So, everybody was asking me about when the funeral was, whatever. I have no clue. I told them I don't know. They shut me out of all the gatherings. They even shut me out of the funeral. Yes, those are demons. They're not your family members. And I try to tell people this all the time. When people on the outside looking in, well, that's your brother, that's your mother. You are a demon too, because if you can't see spiritually that those are demons and not family members, then you're messed up too. See, when people try to put you back into the lion's den, you already know that they got some trauma that they still holding on to, and they don't want to see you prosper either. So, I'm very awake and people don't like it. I trigger demons all the time. But tonight I was on the phone with this special someone. I'm not calling no names, but they gave me the rundown. I was absolutely right. I was always asking my mother about her childhood, and I always asked my mother, what did she do in adulthood where, she just didn't want to be a mother? Why didn't she support us? Why she rejected us? Why she abandoned us? And she always would cuss me out. I mean, cuss me out until her very deathbed. She just stopped dealing with me, and I just went no contact. I walked through this complex while they was looking out their windows, hating on me, slicing my tires, whatever, what have you. Well, come to find out, the truth came out tonight through this special someone, and they told me ask them any questions I wanted to ask. So I asked them the questions. Well, actually, my mom was a drug addict, and it hurt me. It hurt me. It took me a long time in the car to get to you all, and I am a little mushy now about it, but I'm going to talk about it because it got to be talked about. And tears was just falling because God showed me all of this. And she would do anything to get her drugs. And this community, my hometown, they kept it on a hush because demons not gonna tell on other demons. But my mom did a lot of tricks, because I was wondering how she got so much cancer. How your lungs, I know you smoked the cigarettes, what I knew of her, the little bit I knew of her, but how you got cancer in your liver, cancer in your lungs, cancer in your legs, cancer all over your body. I was like, you didn't take care of yourself. But come to find out, she was a crackhead. She did anything to get drugs. And the family member was like, I'm just so sorry to tell you, but we just had to come to a conclusion to tell you, and we was tired of you asking questions. So it just rewind me back to my daughter. That's where the drugs, she going out there stealing cars, and she breaking in houses, and she robbing men for money, and she sleeping around. Yes, yes, God is exposing everything. And if you do get the truth, take it for what it is, because God is only building you spiritually. And then I asked her about my father, which I never known him at all. And he was a drug addict. He did any drug that was on the market at that time, back in that era. He was on cocaine, he was on meth, he stole cars, he robbed, he raped his mother, he stole from her. And it just threw me back to my children, like, my goodness, I start praying to God, and I'm like, they had both sides of the family very poison. The tree was very poison. Then to come to find out my grandmother's was on crack cocaine, and it was just so much hit me tonight. And God knew that I was going to break this generational curse. I had to knock this whole family tree down, and I gave them prophecies earlier this year, the beginning of this year, before my no, I'm sorry, the end of 2023 coming into 2024. And I told them, I said, God said many of my family members was gonna die, many of them was gonna get locked up. And they didn't believe me. And I was like, I was trying to get them to repent, talk it out, get it off their chest, take accountability. But instead they try to kill me, they try to destroy me because I was different. And everybody in the city say, you definitely ain't like your mother, you look like your mother, but you ain't definitely like your mother. And they try to sabotage my name, saying I smoke crack and all this other stuff. And then come to find out, with my brother, drug addict, my sister, she been on drugs for a very long time. And I'm like, can y'all get it together? And it's been a journey for me, and it's been a hard journey. But I'd rather seek and get the truth than sit around and not know it. So tonight, the special person, they knocked it all down, and there was tough. It's other stuff that they told me, but now I see where the demonic spirits got hold of my kids. That's how they end up robbing, stealing, killing. My son, the one that's in prison in North Carolina, he had the murdering spirit. He loved to taste blood. He loved drugs, in the prison. And it's been a rodeo for me. And he tells me all the time he's in a dark place, witchcraft. He into that and all this. And I'm like, where do y'all get all this stuff from? But now I understand it was the wicked family tree of life, and God had to let it dodge me because He needed me to. Well, He knew me before He even placed me in my father to my mother's womb. So, I had to get it together, and I had to, grab it, in which I'm still. processing and I'm still in healing as well with all of this that happened and went on. I got a little PTSD when I see somebody tire flat. It just me. I be like, don't play, or when I see people on drugs, it tears my soul up. When I see people get bullied, when I see people out here in relationships and taking abuse just for money purposes to feed their addictions of any sort. You get what I'm saying? Cub Hub, you can't say that, but Cub Hub, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say Cub Hub, or just laying down with random men for money. There's addictions behind this stuff. There is, strongholds behind these things. And a lot of people don't like to talk about it because they're afraid. But don't be afraid, because if I was a drug addict and God healed me, I'm not going to be afraid. I was adulterous. I was a fornicator. I had a bad, filthy mouth. You get what I'm saying? I was very flirtatious. I was a fighter. I drank. I smoked weed. I did that. I'm not ashamed to tell that. Why should I be ashamed? Because the more you're ashamed about it and the more you hide it, the more you give Satan room to use your soul to go out here and hurt somebody else. Satan only using people so he can get many souls as possible. So when you're coming out this family wicked tree of life, all of these branches that's on this tree that's around you, they're trying to turn you. They're trying to make you become wicked. They're trying to make you go out here and do wicked things or endure wicked things. You get what I'm saying? So it goes on both sides of the spectrum. So y'all gotta give me a minute. My heart is just pounding. I felt out so much, and I have to give. I'm gonna give y'all bits and pieces. So this wicked tree of life is gonna go down for a while because there's so much I got to say. But when you're dealing with demonic people, rather it's your mother, your father, and I notice a lot of people, their mothers raised them to be abused. So when anything happened in their life, if they even get in relationships, who they gonna run back to? The abuser. Just like when we get in relationships, and a lot of people say, "Well, I was married to the narc for 21 years." Of course you were, because you was married to a narcissistic parent for so many years, your whole entire life, from a innocent child to an innocent adult. Your flesh have grown, but your inner child is stuck because you are holding on to all the abuse within you. So you're walking around here like an abuse target. So when that narc that been abused but took the traits from Satan to go out here and hurt people. So when you see that narc razzle your dazzle, because that narc reminds you of somebody in your childhood, in your family wicked tree. So you're gonna attach yourself to that person because that person feel familiar. The energy is familiar. So you get tricked in, and then when Satan start abusing you some more, because Satan trying to stop many people from knowing their true identity. So when you hear people say, "Well, my mama said," and then they say something off the wall, and you be like, "Well, your mother agree with this?" Yes, she agree. I told her about this. Then that lets you know that mama still unhealed. Mama ain't fully healed, because with my kids, I tell them the truth. That ain't gonna work right there. I'm not going for that. So my kids, they were freely to talk to me, but I let them come in to talk to me because I wanted to know what they were in. They're familiar spirits. So when you want somebody that is not that is unfamiliar, you're not gonna want them because they're not familiar to you. You want to get into a comfort zone. You don't want to get into an uncomfort zone. You don't want to do the work on yourself. You don't want to put in, the growth that you need to become who you're supposed to be. So we all got took in who we're supposed to be from childhood. Like David saying in Psalms 51, we were born into sin, shaped into iniquity. That's just how it got to be. We got to endure evil first to become the better version of ourselves. Instead of running from evil, confront it. Don't be scared. I don't care if that person tell you they got $1 billion in their bank account. Them people are broken. These titles got to go. We are not designed to know everything in this earth, then there would be no God. So if we know everything in this earth, we know every career. God know how he designed his earth, and he know who to place in what. If you wasn't meant to be a doctor, that was not your calling. God put people where he want them to be for certain situations. These careers should not be a something y'all look up to the person like they're better than you or they're superior than you. You only got one superior, and that's God Almighty. Everybody else, we're actually equal. But the reason why many aren't equal because many aren't healed. So when you're not healed, you have this grandiose spirit, and that grandiose spirit is Satan on that soul, even though you can't see Satan, but they got the characteristics and the traits of evil. So now that you're celebrating and you're worshiping and you're bowing to a soul that you should not even be bowing to, now you're looking at them like they're better than you, but they got a career. Their career paying six figures, and I'm only making $10.50 an hour. Be happy with that $10.50 for an hour. You ain't got to exchange nothing to hand over your soul to evil. Work that 1050 and gotta make it work. You might have less, but you got a whole lot inside. See, a lot of people don't have a heart. A lot of people walking around here on wicked hearts. So they got to use these things in the physical world that make themselves shine or make people look up to them, and they make you look small. None of us is small. We came in this world with nothing, and we're certainly leaving with nothing. If you leave with a wicked heart, that's on you. But if you leave with an involved heart where you don't put in the work to heal, then guess what? You can walk through this earth easily. The earth don't have to, you don't have to get validation from nobody. You got the validation within. You don't have to ask nobody, have to tell you you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful. Your heart is beautiful. We're not all designed to look the same. We're all not the same. You might be 250 pounds. Guess what? That's what God wants you to be. If that girl over there is 150, that's what God want her to be. If this person 600 pounds, that's what God want them to be. It's not, we're not here to be in competition with each other. We're actually here to help each other heal, show each other love, help each other get a peace of mind. But that's not how Satan rolls. We have to deal with these principalities while we on earth. We are in school on earth, and Satan flipping everything because he wants to be God. And if he can build a kingdom, who wants to go into a kingdom where you gonna burn forever? You ain't never coming back. You going, that is your destination, is with Satan and his ugly, dirty, dusty, no good for self. I could choke him if I could touch him, but that's why we can't be evil to our brethren and sister, because it's not our brother and sister. It's Satan that got control over our brother and sister. And that's why God said, don't be evil. Detach. Love them. Pray for them. And after I found out everything I found out tonight, my heart goes out to them. Even though God took me away from them, I still pray for the living. The dead have no more reward. I can't pray for my daughter no more. Her reward is already counted for. She has no more reward. But as you still living on this earth, you got time to get it right, and it takes time to heal. We must heal so you can understand your mission. Many people is down and they don't understand their mission. They think somebody that got a model body, a Coca-Cola body, that they better than them. No, they're not. That's just their shell. What is their heart like? What is their traits like? What is their characteristics like? Money is not a human. Cars is not a human. Housing is not a human. Careers is not a human. If you achieved it, congratulations. But God ain't going to reward you on that. God is going to reward you on how you treat one another, how you talk to one another. We all got to die. But when you cross over, if you didn't bow now, or you going to bow over there, and we don't have no control over our souls. Our souls is lent to us. We are rented. We were brought with a price. So you can't look at this woman and be like, oh, I wish I was like her. Why? Who are you? Heal to find out who you are. If you got a mother that's trying to stop your destination, these are gatekeepers. They are here to stop you from growing. They're here for you to here to stop you from getting into your calling, to get into your identity. So when you run a crowd of people that tell you to go back in the lion's den, just know those people are not healed. They are not healed. They don't want the best for you. You don't want to be around nobody that do not want the best for you. If they want the best for you, they'll tell you go get healing. Let's pray together. Let's read the word of God together. Let's start somewhere. This is a spiritual battle. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. Ephesians 6:12. But principalities and wicked high places. Satan know what God don't want. He know God don't want us to be girlfriend and boyfriend, fornicating, shacking. But Satan noticed, but Satan makes it feel good. Sin did feel good. I'm here to tell you. Sin felt good to me, but then long as I stayed in it, it became horrible. It became traumatizing. It became mentally challenging. But it do feel good at the moment, and it stops everything. It stops everything within us. And in this hour, people are yielding to seducing spirits because they don't think they got enough ambition within. They don't have enough morals. They don't feel worthy. They don't feel secure. But it's in there. They just got to get down in there and reach out and grow in front of these people. Some people say, well, I ain't got nowhere to go. I didn't either. I lived in the woods. I lived in my car, well, not the car I got now, but the Jeep I had before. I lived in my Jeep for months. I refuse to go back into trauma. I refuse to get abused. I refuse to give my energy to people that didn't appreciate it. I did all of that because as a child, I had to do that. I had to live from house to house. No lights, no clothes barely to wear clothes back to back to back. But I'm not ashamed of that because that's not something I chose. That was something that was dealt to me through those demonic folks that was trying that's supposed to raise me, but they didn't. They didn't take the my mother didn't take on the job mother. My mother didn't want to be a mother. My mother actually was just having sex to feed her drug habit now that I know this. And I thought so, and I kept asking her this, but she kept being pissed off. So she didn't know that I was coming. She didn't know my brother was coming. She didn't know my sister was coming. It was only to get drugs and have children to get more finances or have children to trap that man to make him feed more money to her. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of parents done this. But being as though we were raised by them, we thought dysfunction was normal. Dysfunctional is far from normal. It is mentally disturbing. That's why a lot of people is in the mental hospital and they thinking that they broke and they're crazy. They were born disabled. No, they were raised by disablers. A lot of people conscience is seared. A lot of people don't have no emotions. A lot of people don't even know who they are because of the gatekeepers, family. And then when you get out into the world, you meet them same people. Oh, it's cool to cheat, girl. I'ma got your back. I'ma watch out for you. That is not your friend. If any friends tell you to go and do something that is going to take you down a road of destruction, they're not friends. Don't they're you're gonna have to cut that cord real quick. A friend gonna tell you the truth. A friend gonna love you. A friend ain't gonna hold secrets. A friend ain't gonna be in competition. A friend ain't gonna walk over your boundaries. A friend gonna have boundaries. And then when you got people that don't know boundaries, you can't even laugh with them long. They're ready to go and strike. They fake snakes. Satan is guarding them like a fake snake. It can't move. You got to move the snake, and that's how Satan is using these souls. They done they mummy style, and Satan is driving them throughout this world to hurt other people, hurt innocent kids. The church, burn them down. Because they were not made by God's hands. They were made by, they are the synagogues of Satan. Mess them up. Bring stepdads in, stepmoms in. Don't leave them stepmamas out either. Because I know a lot of children got some wicked stepmamas that feed them oodles and noodles, and their children eating steak, taking all the money, putting them on their children, and the man going out just having sex with every other different woman and leaving their kids on these wicked stepmothers. It's a lot of children damaged due to parents, due to parents, because they got addictions, pharmaceuticals, because they were abused. You get what I'm saying? So it was a pass down. That's why Satan was having fun with these generations, generation on generations. Look at our children. I can call out mine. My son in prison, 18 years. My daughter in the grave. Well, no, she in the grave. Let me take that back. I'm lying. She's in the shed house with ashes. Well, and guess what? That's a good thing though, because my father was absent in my life. He never showed me nothing wrong, but he left a demonic mark through me. The demons was attached to me. And when I came in the world, they was already here. They know who I was. I didn't know who I was, but they couldn't get me, so they attached themselves to my children. See, we are assigned to certain demons. And I couldn't understand those demons that I was assigned to. I was like, y'all the harshest people I ever seen in my life. I mean, I had those psychopaths, those sociopaths, manipulating, covert over. I dealt with some real heavy demonic folks, sexual abuse, murder, physical abuse. I was assigned to some real heavy demons, and I had to take on these demonic folks. I mean, I wasn't by myself. God was behind me 100%. But I had to do this fleshly alone. I had no support, and I didn't understand how I can go and get hurt by these spirits and go in secret and heal and come back out and ready to do it again. I never understood it until now. I was chosen. I was preparing all this long time for now. So when I moved back here, those people didn't know who they was up against, because they'd have destroyed a lot of people in this city, my family alone. And so when they came up against me, they came up against the wrong one. So then they didn't understand how I keep coming back from all these attacks, how I stood up to them, how I exposed them, how I wasn't afraid of them. So they tried to pick the biggest bully out of the family, get into a group, and Heavenly Father was downloading me every plot and every plan that these people was doing to me, and they never prospered. Never. Now everybody losing their life, in jail, on heavy drugs, just around here just looking like owls. Ooh, just sitting up in the tree like, where's she at? Invite me to gatherings because they know I'm going to shut it down. They didn't even want me to come to my Uncle Theodore funeral. I shut it down. So now they're trying to hide my mama funeral from me. But guess what? If God want me to know where this funeral is, I'm going. Yes, they will suffer. And at that moment, I didn't have no repentance. I didn't know nothing about God. All I know was try to make a better life due to the physical world. Have a good credit score. Make sure you own your own home. Make sure you're driving a fancy car. Make sure you got some degrees on your wall. Make sure you know how to pronounce big words and spell them too. Listen to all the history in school. No, it's a trap. This world is the matrix. And if you're still plugged up, it's time to unplug. Satan want us to run after the physical stuff so he can keep our souls trapped. No more. And I will never stop speaking on it because God got me into my purpose. Detaching is the best thing. If you're an adult and your inner child is still trapped, like I say, just give me time. Yes, we have to be equipped. And when growing up in these homes, we wasn't equipped. Even the ones that say they church goers, they only profess Jesus Christ with their mouth, but their hearts are so far from them, so far from Christ. That's why they don't support channels. That's why they don't like to hear us chosen ones speak, because they know they liars. They are liars. They done kill some of their kids themselves. It ain't no way. I would have never told my kids to go out there and sleep with no old man. My mother used to be in my daughter's ear, but my baby boy, when I was at work, he would listen to my daughter conversations, and he would come. He said, "You know what Grandma told Vonnie to do, Mom?" And he would tell me, so I call my mother up. Why are you calling my daughter? She was trying to get to my daughter behind my back, but she actually, succeeded. And my daughter would call my mother and have secret conversations. But my son, he was listening. He was that listening ear for me. And he got mad with my mother. He told my mother, "Don't you ever call my mom house no more. You are the devil. You are no good. A grandmother ain't no, you are not a good grandmother." So, my mom would call me and try to manipulate me. "You know what Quan did?" That's my baby boy name. "You know what Quan did to me? Quan fussed me out." I said, "But Mom, why did he fuss you out? Because Quan ain't gonna disrespect you unless you did something to Quan." See, if I would have fell for her okie doke, she would have had me thinking that Quan was just up disrespecting her. But when I got the Quan side of the story, then all of us got on the phone. My mother, "Oh, I don't want to hear it," and hang the phone up. You told me right then that you are the one that's trying to manipulate my daughter. She used to always want to babysit, but never babysit none of her grandkids. I'm like, "Why you want my kids for?" "No, they good. I'm gonna put them in daycare. Don't worry about it. You ain't got to." My mother was not in nobody life. But now when I asked her and I approached her about it last year, she hung the phone up on me. She told them to let me in the house. She locked me out my grandfather's house. Everybody was ignoring me. They wouldn't inviting me to gatherings, which I didn't want to go no ways. I didn't care about them folks. Y'all ain't nothing but demons, bro. I don't want to eat with y'all. The fool is more realer than y'all. Y'all the fake ones, and the fool is the realest. And they hated me. They hated me because I stood up. I wasn't afraid of them. And they tried to take me down. They gave it all they got. Even the outsiders, they call it little, as they call it, flying monkeys. They're other demons. I always tell people, a demon know a demon. If you get in these relationships and they ghost you, don't you feel sad about them ghosting you? They ghosting you because them demons about to get destructive. They don't have no control over their souls. If they go into solid mode, they're only going in solid mode because they got to go back and reawaken somebody that they left for dead, just like they're gonna leave you for dead. So all of this stuff was conditioned for us to take. It was conditioned for us to feel like dysfunction was functional. No, it's time to heal. But y'all know I got to go. I've been up here 1 hour. I'll come back with part two. I check in with y'all tomorrow around about 12:30. I got to go and digest some stuff. I love you all. Have a great night. Lord's will, I see y'all tomorrow. And just know, heal. Don't sit there and meditate on those empty, nasty, broken words so it can shatter your beautiful, precious spiritual mental. We're all special in every way. I don't care how you look. You ain't got to have no eyes. You're beautiful to me. You ain't got to have no lips. You're beautiful to me. I don't care what's missing. You're beautiful. Period. Blessings. See you, Monique Sunshine. See you, Miss Candace. And oh man, our new sister AFEL. I'm gonna go on Google and get that name pronounced. I don't want to call it out because I don't like calling out wrong names. But I love you all. Much blessings, much love. Go out and spread some positivity because the people need it. Love you all. See ya.